How you guys doing? Welcome to another weekend AMA. It's your boy Dylan Israel with his Cats of Catan shirt on. So that's the way we roll. Normally, I like to start off with a good topic, but I got nothing today. I was pondering for a minute. I got nothing I really all want to talk about all that bad. So for those of you who are new to the channel, thank you so much. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Every week we go into these weekly AMAs where I try to answer your questions, provide some value, provide some mentoring, because I think it's important. I actually think it's one of the responsibilities of software engineers is to help mentor those below us. So, hey, this is what we're about here. So it's Friday. Cheers to y'all. Which is harder, data science or software engineering? I would say data science. Data science is definitely more math heavy, has some additional items that are. Data science is a newer field, and naturally it's not going to be as well developed. Not to say that there's not a bunch of not to say that's unorganized, but I would definitely say data science falls into sort of a newer field that's sort of exploded in recent times, which means there's a lot of new technologies that are exploding with it. And they maybe haven't been as well defined as other technologies. Have I finally settled into your new workplace? That's funny. Yeah. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah. The only company around where I live is known to pay bad and mistreat devs. Should I apply to it or search elsewhere? Field first. So I would just leave the area. You don't want to work at a bad company. When you're designing a website, what do you call it when they link to a pic? That's the href or CDN link. Where do you store your images? Well, there's some various aspects, but you really just store them on a hosting platform most of the time. What grade did you get when you did your classes when you tried to finish college? The last time I went back, I got A's on everything, on all my class work. But when I was in there, I was getting like C's and B's. It's hard to do good when you don't want to be there. Let's see. Let's pop up this chat a little bit. I'm thinking about doing YouTube videos about coding related stuff. Any landmines to look out for? Yes. Always have in the back of your mind that you need to be comfortable enough to sit down and watch whatever video you made with your boss right there next to you. The reason I say that is you're putting something out into the world. You're putting something out there where other people can see it. Their competitors can see it. Your colleagues can see it. So you want to sort of keep your professional life somewhat separate where you don't necessarily talk about your workplace too much. And you also want to make sure you're not doing any ratchet ass shit that's going to get you in trouble, right? The farthest I sort of push the boundary is saying things like ratchet ass shit. Maybe having a casual beer while I'm streaming on occasion and doing this sort of stuff. But you have to understand that you need to be able to comfortably understand that you are representing, at the end of the day, your company in a way that you need to be a professional. And there's just some certain things that cross the line. You may lose your job for it because pretty much every contract you're ever going to sign is going to have some sort of social media policy in it as well. So just keep that in mind. And that's probably on a sort of a side note, what happened to the dreaded dev? The dreaded dev was a YouTuber doing pretty well and growing, and he just randomly vanished. And people are like, why did he vanish? Well, why he probably vanished was he was doing some stuff his work didn't appreciate, and they basically told him, take it down, or get lost. Now, I don't know this is what happened. This is my best guess, but that's probably what happened. Do you think it's easier to start front-end web dev? I'm interested in Python. I want to be back-end eventually. My suggestion to you is to go down the path you want to go down. Don't worry about what's easy. How much do I need to know to start looking for a job, and what level should I be at? That's always a hard question to answer because everyone's different. But what I would really tell you at the end of the day is the bare minimum you need for sort of a front-end role is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a JavaScript framework, React, Angular, Vue. Get comfortable with Git, and then add a testing suite in there as well, such as Jasmine, Mocha, Chai, Jest. If you got that, you're probably ready for a very entry-level front-end role. What's the highest level of math I've taken? Discrete mathematics and Calc 3. When I was in college doing computer science, I did pre-algebra as a warm-up class that I didn't need to take. I also did college algebra, trigonometry, statistics, physics 1 and 2. There is a physics 3, but I dropped out before I did that. And then I did Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, discrete mathematics, and geometry. So that was the maths that I did. So I think Calc 3 and discrete mathematics were on the same thing, same sort of tier. Do you have a preferred provider for web hosting? I've always just used GoDaddy. Just what I've used. I've been using the same thing. Is there a lot of math and algorithms in software engineering? I would say for the most part, the only real math you use is algebra. Now that will depend if you're working with a more data-heavy side application. What jQuery plugins are still relevant in 2019? I don't know of any. You should write custom code. Why does it seem like most employers are looking for front-end devs? I think most of the time that's just perspective. Whenever you can't get a job and jobs aren't there for you, it just sort of looks like that. Is Calc 2 harder than Calc 1 and 3? Yes, it was for me. I don't remember exactly why, but I had to repeat Calc 2 because I got a C minus, and I think I needed at least a B minus to move forward. My school had a policy for certain classes. There was a certain grade level that you had to get to move forward. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I didn't hit the grade cap. It might have been you had to get a C, and I got a C minus, and then I immediately nerd raged by missing it by a couple %. Do you ever take vacations? Yeah, I do sometimes. I haven't taken one in a while, mainly because I've been saving money. I've been paying down the house. We bought a house. You know, I started a new job, all that sort of stuff. So, like, you know, there's some aspects of that there's some financial aspects of I have some financial goals that I'm saving up for, right? I'm saving up for a duplex. I'm saving up for a new house. All this stuff. What's your next travel and vacation spot? I don't know yet. I do have a short little trip coming up, but I can't really talk about it quite yet. We'll talk about it in the future. But I don't know. I wanted to. So I was heartbroken a little while back where I was going to take April and I on like a 10-day cruise. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it because we got the dog and no one could watch the dog. And you know how it is. Am I still working on a side project? I'm working on the YouTube channel, although this week I had some sort of personal issues and I didn't release any videos, but I already recorded one video today and I'm recording some for the next couple stuff. So you'll be seeing some YouTube videos. In terms of extra side projects, I might be starting a podcast with Eric, and I want to get back into writing my book. I was working on the course, but I sort of fell out of love with it a little bit, and I think I want to do something different. So at this time, I think I'm going to refocus my mental energy towards finishing up a book. That's what I want to do. What's the hardest interview question you were expected to answer? It wasn't very hard, but I was asked how to sort something, but I couldn't iterate through the entire data set, and I couldn't create a new array, and I didn't understand how I was supposed to do it. Is a typical 30-year-old broke and struggling? I mean, I think the typical average American is. Let's do a little bit of a Google search. That's actually average 30-year-old salary. Let's see, average salaries by age. So the average occupation pays $50,620 in the U.S. I don't see it. The average salary by age for Americans. All right. So 25 to 34. That's the category. The for Americans age 25 to 34, it's $39,416 per year. Now, that's a big gap, because when I was 25, I was making like 15 grand a year. I'm 31, and I'll probably clear 160 this next year. So there's I think that's a relatively rough area to look at. But keep this in mind: from 35 to 44, hopefully by then you got your shit together. Everyone in that category has. They're making on average about $10,000 more. So $49,400. And you say, okay, cool. But then you have to figure out, a lot of people go and they have, the average person has like $33,000 of student loans. So like when you're making 40 grand a year, and you got $33,000 of student loans, you're paying taxes. Yeah, you're broke and you're hungry, and you're not doing very well. That's probably the reality of the situation for most 30-year-olds. Most 30-year-olds have probably graduated within the last 5 years, paying down their debt. I mean, I have a lot of software engineer friends just by the nature of sort of the beast, right? And most of them have student loans. They're still paying down. These guys make six figures, right? So if I wasn't a front-end developer, what developer I'd be? Probably back-end. What do you think about TechLead's most recent video, 10 times engineers? I don't know. I don't even know what it's about. I'd have to go watch it. How long should you stay at a company? As long as you're still learning stuff. The second you stop learning and you don't think you're growing as a developer, it's time to go and grow elsewhere and grow your salary as well. That's all long. Plan to get a BS in CS and a master's in data science. Do you think I'll be balling? You'll be balling out of control if you go into data science. Matter of fact, you'd probably be better off just going and getting a bachelor's directly in data science and going on from there. No more essential oils. I'm out right now, so they're empty. Do I want to just stick to front end? I like a little bit of everything, but here's the thing, guys. When you go and you ask for six-figure salaries, and you say, hey, I'm worth this amount. And for those of you who don't know, like what six figures is in terms, like, let's just say I make about $55 an hour if we were to do it salary. That doesn't count my PTO. That doesn't count bonuses. That doesn't count whatever. So $55 an hour is a good amount of money to make. And so when someone asks you, hey, what do you charge? And you say, I charge $55 an hour plus all the other benefits. And then they go, great. Can you do this other thing? And like, yeah, I can kind of do it. when someone is paying you $55 an hour, they don't want to hear, yeah, I can kind of do it. I'll figure it out in about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It'll take me a little bit of training. Most of the time, companies don't want to hear that. They want to hear confidence. They want to hear, yeah, kill it. Don't worry about it. So when someone comes to me for a front-end project, there's no doubt in my mind I can accomplish it in a timely and efficient and clean manner. That's why I am a professional. I'm a professional front-end software engineer. Can I do back-end? Yeah, I can do a little bit. Am I at what I would consider a quality level? Not yet. Not really, but that's not what I put my time and energy into. I can make it work, but so can everyone else. But they pay me well because I can make it good and I can make it fast. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I like a little bit of everything, but I typically will probably be sticking to the front end until I actually take the time to reinforce other skills. And honestly, if I was going to do that, instead of getting better with back end and full stack, I'd probably go learn data science. I just spend the time learning data science because if I was to go from full stack to going from front end to like a real full stacker where I can kill it in both, I would probably get a 10, maybe $15,000 raise. Nothing crazy. You know what type of raise I'd get if I went and learned data science and got good at it? Probably like a $50K raise, if not more. So keep that in mind. Anyhow. Do I mentor junior devs at my job? No, not currently. Is it normal for a front-end dev interview not to ask any technical interview questions? It could usually they'll ask at least some along the way. Yeah. I'm on JSON building app to let the user store info in session storage, letting the user put in and categorize it. If I'm stuck, what must I search? I don't know what your issue is. How many junior devs come from boot camps? I don't know. Probably a decent amount, but I think more so they come from college. Do you think your parents are surprised that you found success in the field? To go from your mom bringing you groceries to buying a house few years later is huge leap. I think my dad thinks I'm always one paycheck away from being homeless. So I think my dad's very concerned about the fact that I don't have a college degree. That's okay. I understand that. I think your parents are always going to be risk averse for you because they want you to go the safest path. But the truth of the matter is no one ever got rich doing safe shit. No one ever retired early playing it safe. And so I look at things and I look at opportunities and I say, you know what? I think I can go and double my income by doing this or saving money and I'm okay with risk as long as the payoff is a significant magnitude greater. So how long were you working before you started interviewing job candidates? Professionally, about a year and a half. Yeah. It's not storing the user inputs. Well, why don't you start with local storage and see if it's doing it there just fine. Make sure you're parsing the JSON. Make sure you're also setting it properly. Just Google how to set session storage and how to get items out of session storage. Do I think including a cover letter with your resume is a good thing? So many jobs to apply in Toronto? Yes. I do think it's a good thing. I think you can create a generic one as short and to the point, and it'll do very good. So. How many developers have a master's in CS in your department? 0. My last workplace was 1. That was out of 14 developers. What am I looking forward to this weekend? We're doing a yard sale tomorrow. My community has a yard sale, so we're doing that. It's nice to go through your stuff and see how you wasted money on shit that you don't use anymore. And so, yeah, we're going and getting 1/10 the value of our items at the yard sale. That's what we're doing. Yeah. But besides that, just running errands, man. Taking it easy. Taking a breather. For those of you who don't know, if you saw my last video, I looked like I was on death's door in Dev Mountain's video. So I hope I look a little bit better. So like my eyes should look a little bit better. How's that look? But I gave up caffeine about 2 weeks ago. I've had 1 monster in that 2 weeks. But besides that, no caffeine. And I feel a little bit more mellow. I feel a little bit more tired. But yeah, it's been pretty good. You gonna take me out to lunch? You gonna fly over? All right, man. You let me know when the time's coming. Yard sale, Dylan, on Monday. Where's my robe? The robe is staying. The robe is good for life. Have I ever wanted to launch my own startup? Yeah. I've had a couple ideas. As a front-end dev, how do you interact with back-end devs or designers in specific job role? It depends on the organization, but for the most part, your business analyst isn't going to do a very good job with the requirements, and they're going to need to have a translator, and that's what the front-end dev is for. So you're going to be communicating to the designer what it is that you need done. And so they'll go design it. And with the back end, you're also going to translate to the back end about what the data model is probably going to look like, because they don't think about data models. They just think about features. So based off the feature, it's always good to help your back end developer understand what data model is probably going to work best. So how's April's learning coming along? Slow, but we've sort of got, and we'll talk about it in future videos, but major life change that is happening. That sounds very dramatic, but we've had a bump in the road, and things are brewing. Things are brewing. So we'll talk about that in a future video. Do you think the 2020 election and eventual downturn in the economy will affect your property purchases? Not really. It all, no, she's not pregnant, guys. I know that's what I was hinting at with things that are brewing, but she's not prego. But yeah, so what I would say is when it comes to the 2020 election and affect your property purchases, if you're buying long term, you have nothing to worry about. If you're trying to flip houses in a 6-month window, you have something to worry about. So buy a house that's affordable, that if you rented it out and you had to pay a little bit extra being in a $500 range, you could do it without worrying about it. What do you wear to a job interview yourself? I usually go business casual. I put on some Nikes, some blue slacks, and like a shirt, right? That's basically some like blue jeans, not like blue jeans, but like jeans, like slack jeans, if that makes any sense. Am I a fan of Andrew Yang? I am indeed. Yeah. Yeah, my baby's coming out the womb with a cigar, a robe, and a badly designed WordPress site. Do I work within data-related devs, business analysts? Business intelligence analysts, data analysts. Not in my current workplace. I have in the past. Hope it is anything bad. No, it's something good. It's good. It's just not something I'm quite ready to talk about yet. Too many moving parts right now, but we'll talk about it. You know me, man. I'm an open book most of the time. I'm doing good. We got to keep other people's considerations. So, do I do any UI automated testing? I don't. My colleagues though. I've been watching Dave Ramsey. I'm a fan of Dave Ramsey's. One of the books, if you're just looking for a beginning of getting if you're just beginning to get going with your savings, you definitely read his sort of standout book. What is that book? I don't remember the book. You know the book. You probably know the book I'm talking about. On your CodeBabes video, you said you wouldn't feel like a real YouTuber until you had 56,100. Do you feel like a real YouTuber yet? No. I mean, I don't. So what do you call like a real YouTuber? Like, Dave Ramsey was. I'm looking for the book name right now. Book. Total Money Makeover is the introduction book. Is what I'm talking about. Total Money Makeover. How would you respond if HR asked you why you've been changing jobs every year? Honestly, and I mean, to be honest with you, that's been a #1 question every time I'm interviewed. Why do you change jobs? I just tell them the honest truth. What area do you most struggle with when learning to be a dev? Probably JavaScript. I just needed to make sure I really understood how to use the language and what it did. It just took a lot of work. Yeah. So for most jobs, it's either the workplace turned hostile, or I wasn't developing as much as I wanted to, and so I went elsewhere. It is true that I got a pay raise when I did that, because why wouldn't I? If I'm going to go through the hassle of getting a new job, why wouldn't I go and get more money? Like, yeah, I'm leaving because this workplace all of a sudden went downhill. Yeah, I'm leaving because I don't think I can learn anything else here, and that I'm not growing as a developer. So I left. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Do I use any CSS frameworks for making UIs? Not anymore. No. Are you good at talking to people in crowds? I'm probably better than most, although I don't really do it. How upfront are you with employers about being money hungry? I mean, I'm pretty straightforward with it. I had a CEO maybe 2-3 months back that was interested in me, and he asked me how would I describe myself in 5 words. I said money hungry and hardworking. So that's what I told him. He asked if I wanted a job. So I don't know if he liked it. I don't know. But I politely declined. But do I know where Poland is? In Europe. Yeah. I'm 23, broke and in debt without a degree. Am I far behind the world? You're probably about the average college student, I think, or 21-year-old is like negative $30,000 in debt. So you're probably doing just fine. How would you respond if HR asked you to see yourself in 5 years? I get that quite often. I also answer it honestly. I said there's 2 realities here. I'm either working for myself, or I'm working for someone else, and I'm not as happy. So I usually leave that same part out. No, but honestly, in 5 years, I think I'm working for myself. Any tips with dealing with product owners regarding timeframes? Yeah, and if you want some more tips about it, read the how to code like a what is it? Not clean code. The clean coder. There's a link in the description below. It'll tell you how to handle those sorts of business interactions. But really give estimates. That's how I do it. Estimates are the best way. Why have I cleared out my cleaning shelf there? We're doing some spring cleaning. We have the yard sale we're doing tomorrow. If you were to study to get in data science, what role would you study for? I'd have to investigate more. So, who's my favorite rapper? I heard Dolan's dropping some beats pretty soon. So, and his hit album called Wix God, it's coming around the corner. Yeah. Where am I from? Southern California. I need to make room for the baby. I got 4 bedrooms here. How many rooms do you think I need? And this is a flexor, and this doesn't count as a bedroom. I'm doing fine. I wouldn't need room for a baby. Wonder Boy versus Pettis. Pettis looked good in that fight with Tony Ferguson. Not as fact he broke his hand, but that was a good fight. I would say I put my money on Wonder Boy, but he's just got too much reach. He really hasn't been beat by anybody. I didn't think Darren Till beat him. And then he's really only lost to Tyron Woodley. So I think I'm a babe magnet. Look, I know I'm a babe magnet. All right. Look, when you walk down the street and you see a Cat of Catan shirt, ladies are like, yo, that's a good man right there. All right. Yeah, I'm a big George St. Pierre guy also. I think he's coming back and fighting Khabib in a year. Do I want to donate? Yeah, sure. If you want to donate, that always helps. Mortgages are expensive. I'd appreciate it. How would I go about quitting your job in only a few months, even if you're happy with a way better offer that came along? I would just tell them that I'm leaving for a better opportunity. I'd write up a maybe I'll show you guys. I would write something up similar to this. So I'm gutting some stuff out here real quick. Okay, cool. So you want to see what I would do? This would be what I do. Shh, Matt, keep the secret. Secret time, Matt. Secret time. Ain't no secret. All right. So if you want to see an example resignation letter, oh shit, let me take my address off here. So can I do it through here? How do I do this thing through here? Maybe I can't do it through here. All right, never mind. I guess I can't show you. I was going to show you, but it looks like it's not going to let me. Oh yeah, I forgot I did the live stream. How do you think a company will take me after? After quitting only a month in, I would give 2 weeks. I would give 2 weeks. One, because I think it's part of what makes you a professional, and two, your other company will wait 2 weeks. It's not that long of a time. I would do it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. Some companies have said, hey, don't even bother coming in after 2 weeks. It depends on the organization, but I would give 2 weeks. That's what I would do. I think that's the proper thing to do. And I think your current workplace wants to know that you'd give 2 weeks. So I don't do any web graphics. No, that's not a skill I possess. That's the big STs. Let me. Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I thought I was going to be able to, but technical difficulties. All right. Pizza delivery wasn't a bad job. It didn't have any relevant experience, but you get tips. You get to drive around. How does one take risk into the context early? You have to consider what it is you're risking and what your reward is and if it's worth it. That's really it. What you're risking versus what the payoff is and what it's going to take to get that. Surprised Dillashaw tested positive? I'm not surprised any of these guys test positive anymore. They all test positive eventually. Yeah, free food's also nice and important. Do I still think web dev is good for the next 5 years? I think so. Yeah. I would go if I was going to do something. It'd probably be data science because I was just getting going and I didn't care. Just because there's a lot of jobs in data science and machine learning, it's a little harder to get in. But because there's so high demand, it's not going to be as hard. There's data science boot camps and things like that I'd look into. What sort of benefits would make sense? Trevaro says, thanks for the tip. I appreciate the $2, man. Thank you very much. If you guys could like and subscribe and share all that sort of stuff, that'd be appreciated too. What benefits would make sense to you and what wouldn't apart from your salary? So obviously any role you're gonna need a medical, dental, long-term, short-term disability. You're also benefits that I go for are bonuses as well as profit sharing. Cash in your pocket at the end of the day. So profit sharing is great, as well as bonuses. Also, if you work for a company that gives you free product, that's always good, or free food. That's dope. But 401k is something to keep in mind as well. So those are like the bonuses I always look for. If data science is a 9, what's web dev? First off, I would say data science, generally speaking, is a 10. If you can't say a more in-demand, high-paying job than data science right now, I'd love to know what it is. But so if data science is a 10, what's web dev? Like 7.5. That's what I would say. 7.5 to 8. Actually, I would even put it as like an 8.5 because like you're comparing data science to web dev, yeah. But like what's on the full spectrum? Like a 1 is like a cashier and like a 1 is like a cashier or gas station attendant or something that's getting automated or phased out. Well, 5 is sort of the medium. I think web dev is like an 8 and data science is like 10. Talk about contract versus full-time, please. Yeah, so contract means that you essentially are not an employee of the company. What that means is, 1, you will be treated in your taxes as a contract employee. So when you make $100,000, your employee pays taxes, you pay equivalent taxes. When you're a contract employee, you pay both taxes. So you get taxed twice as much on your money. So you need to keep that in mind. Contract also means that there aren't any labor protection laws. You are a contract employee. You're not a real employee. And so, depending on what state you're in, there are, things that if you're a full-time employee, you might have to meet certain requirements. It also typically means you have worse benefits, all that sort of stuff, and you're paid hourly instead of salary. Yes, typically contractors in total will get paid more, but oftentimes lose out on a lot of other things, right? So you might have to go get your own health insurance. You're probably not getting PTO. Is it wise to try and quit development for something else? I mean, if that's what you want to do, it's wise to be happy. John was probably sick of talking about software development and wants to talk about personal growth. And that's wise. It's wise to go do something you're passionate about than doing something you're not. And the good thing about a contract employee is you can go above 40 hours a week. I would love if companies worked me more than 40 hours a week if I was a contract. But I'm salary. And there's a reason I'm salary. So they can. Go to a boot camp, man. If you got a year to learn something and you want a career change, go to a boot camp. Study for 3 months, go to a 3 to 4 or 5 month boot camp, then spend 3 or 4 months looking for a job. That would be my advice. Yeah, there's a lot of great free resources to study, as Matt's mentioning. Free Code Camp is probably the number one thing I'd recommend. How long did it take you to find your first job? 2 months, a month, something like that. I was really motivated, man. I was selling my stuff, packing my stuff. I was living at home. I knew I was ready to move on. Who's Coding Phase? Coding Phase is this guy. I wish I had a hat. He's like, y'all already know. We don't get it again. That's my best Coding Phase impression. Where do you think me and Coding Phase are the same age? I was surprised to find Chris Shaw and I are the same age. I thought he was like 21 first time. First time I knew about that. I guess yeah. How old was I when I left home? 18, 19, something like that. Apparently, Joe's doing good though, man. I saw a thing. Coding Phase makes like 22 grand a month, something like that. Good for him. We done did it again. Did I get it wrong? I like Joe. I don't watch too many of his videos. Every once in a while, I'll catch one, and that's always the intro again. Yeah, Joe. Look, man, Joe's being true to himself. All right, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that Joe is being himself. I'm 31, so I don't know how old Joe is. Well, I'm 31. I mean, that's not what she says. That's not what she says he makes. I don't have any reason to call him a liar. I mean, I don't know. Look, man, I'd like to believe people aren't out there lying about what he's doing. You and Joe had a misunderstanding, I think. If we did, I don't know about it. Look, man, I respect anyone that's out there hustling. That's it. Let's go to Russia. I did have one subscriber in Ukraine who told me that I could stay with her if I visited, but I think April would appreciate it very much. You and Engineer Chutes have come a long way. I remember you in 2 videos in this part when you guys were in college, man. Time flies. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, if you really think about it, it's like been like, what, 1,500 days would be 5 years? That's not really that much. Like, that sounds like a Chinese proverb. Keep your rack empty, but your whiteboard full. Hey. If you're on a company shortlist for hiring, they haven't followed up in several weeks. How long should I give them for a response? You should just continue applying. You should never wait on any company. Continue applying. Follow up after a week. Is working as a dev still fun for me? Yeah. A lot of times it's the environment that makes it unfun. I would say that I would probably enjoy working for myself a little bit more, but I think what's going to interest me next in my career more than anything else is mentoring, taking on those additional responsibilities. You know, I've been writing code for 3 years now, and I think around the 4 or 5 year mark, you sort of go into the team lead roles, tech lead roles, and you start helping junior developers become better developers. That's what would probably interest me more in my future, and then management after that, I would say. Would any companies do algorithms test to junior front-end devs? Yes. These companies ain't a lot. Casey, you do whatever you need to do, man. What advice would you have to someone making his first static website? Just do it. Get started. Get going. And when you're done, go ask someone who's better than you how they would have done it, and get them to code review it. You put up a good front in those days, Dylan. I had no idea you were starving college, and I was a starving, depressed, miserable, angry college student. I'll never, ever, ever go back to college again. Microsoft asked me. When I interviewed with Microsoft, they said, would I ever go back to college? I said, no. The manager guy, he was like, would you ever go back to finish your degree if we paid for it? I said, no. Had nothing to do with that shit again. Oh, what a waste of time that would be. What a waste of time and energy. We say work for yourself. What do you mean? Working on side projects, coding things. Oh, that's seriously. Your boy finally got a developer job. Salsa dude, congratulations to you, baby. Good on you, man. Congratulations. Salsa dude's out here putting in work. Good for you, man. Another success story. If I had to do data science, would I go back? No. I'd be a unique enough candidate that what I would do is go and do a data science boot camp, something that's like 3 to 6 months. I would probably, with my software engineering experience, be a very interesting candidate, and they'd probably hire me pretty quickly. I'd have to get good at all that sort of stuff, but I think I could make it work without going back to school. Well, 1 month left in college. Hope to be a success. Start around there. Good for you, man. 2 years in the grind. God bless. I've never had a Five Guys burger, so I couldn't tell you, man. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Is it dinner time? I think it's dinner time. I think it's about time for me to go, boys. I need to go get something to eat. Getting a Get a little hungry. With that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all. I hope you had fun. Hope you learned a little something along the way. Thank you to our one donator donated $2. I appreciate that. You can always help me by buying my courses in the description below, as well as any books I recommend, all that sort of good stuff. With that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you next week. Look forward to the Tuesday video. Bye, guys.